Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to an ESPN NFL 2K5 franchise rebuild with the Detroit Lions. This is our Season 1 finale. We have 2 games left in the season, and then it's going to be the end of our first season of a rebuild here in 2K5. You can see we are currently 5-9 at the bottom of the NFC North. 2 things are out of reach. The playoffs are out of reach for us, and our goal of 8 wins in the season is unfortunately out of reach for us. But that said, we're not going to go full-out tanking. We are going to try to win these last 2 games, especially against the Chicago Bears, our NFC North rival, probably the biggest rival that the Lions would have. You can argue with me or not. And before we jump into that final conference game against the Bears, we'd like to ask you to subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 250 subscribers, and of course your likes and your comments are always appreciated for that hashtag engagement. So let's get right into it. First game of 2 coming at you, Bears versus Lions, and let's jump right into this thing. Welcome to Chicago versus the Bears here in Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. The Detroit Lions not having the season that maybe they envisioned, but the secondary has done okay. We're getting a little Dre Bly highlight here, who has honestly had an underwhelming season by our standards. We're going to be taking a good hard look at all of our players next year, especially the ones that are making money like Dre Bly is. And on the other side of the ball, we have Charles Peanut Tillman, a ball hawk in his own right. The Lions will take first possession in the game, and Harrington is going to complete his first pass to Charles Rogers over on the left side, 19-yard gain. Tillman not able to get his hands on that one. Kevin Jones with a little bit of space to the outside, spins out of 1 tackle, and is taken down after a 4-yard gain by Harris. Harrington on the play action on 2nd down, gets his pass deflected by Urlacher, showing some range in the coverage over the middle. 3rd and 6, Harrington dropping back again, tossing it over the middle to Rogers, who has another 13-yard gain. Move the chains into Chicago territory for the Lions. Jones juking left up the middle. He gets 3 yards on that one. Brown is in there on the tackle. Harrington play action again, has some pressure coming, rolling out to his right, throws it, honestly almost threw it directly to a Bears defender. That one is going to fall harmlessly. Incomplete. Another 3rd down for the Lions, and another pass from Harrington. This one's going to be complete to Alexander with a very athletic grab, 14-yard gain. Move the chains. Jones trying to get something going on that left side toss. Only gets 1 yard. Briggs and Azuma are in there to stop him quickly. 2nd down, Harrington throwing over the middle, has Roy Williams in and out of his hands on the contact. That one is going to fall incomplete. 3rd down from the shotgun. Harrington rolling out to his right, throws it on the move to Charles Rogers. It was going to be out of bounds if he caught it. That's going to lead to a 43-yard field goal from Hansen. Just squeaks it over the crossbar, and that one is good to get the score up to a 3-0 lead for the Detroit Lions. The Bears taking over from their own 27. Grossman going to throw that one to nobody, falling incomplete to the turf. 2nd and 10, Grossman's going to find Shannon Sharp. That's right, Shannon Sharp's on the Bears in this iteration of this franchise run. That's going to be a 6-yard gain. In the 3rd and 4th, Grossman looking to pass again, throws it over to the right side again, missing his receiver. I'm not even sure that's the pass defense. 2 of those incompletions. Seems like it was completely on Grossman there. The Lions take right back over. Schlesinger is going to get the call this time. Gets out of 1 tackle. Urlacher gets him, but that's a 6-yard gain for the big fullback. Harrington's quick drop back on 2nd down, slinging it to Roy again, who drops it yet again. And man, Roy has had the hardest last couple of games after having an absolute banger of the season up to now. But luckily on another 3rd down, we get that completion to Charles Rogers, who has been absolutely solid for us here in the second half of the season, and we have that 1st down. Jones gets a great run up the middle, spitting out of a tackle, getting a 7-yard gain. Schlesinger on the quick toss to the right side gets the 3 yards needed for the 1st down. Move the chains back into Chicago territory. Jones draws up the middle, tries to get out of multiple tackles, only gets 1 yard out of that one. Harris gets credited with that tackle, and then Briggs comes busting through the line. The linebacker gets the sack for a loss of 8. That's a 3rd and forever for the Lions. Harrington looking to get it all back in 1 throw, only gets 15 of the 17 yards to Charles Rogers. The Bears will take back over at their own 16, but Grossman is sacked by Porcher. It's going to be no gain, and on the very next play, Grossman tries to bail out. Porcher gets him again. 2 plays, 2 sacks for good old Porcher. I love saying Porcher. I was saying Porcher earlier in the year. It's definitely Porcher. And then the shovel pass to Thomas. He gets the tackles broken, and he gets the yards needed, and the Bears stay alive with that beautiful shovel pass to Thomas Jones, getting all the way over that 1st down line. It's a gain of 11 yards after the multiple sacks by Porcher, and that's going to bring us into the 2nd quarter. The Lions are up on the Bears in Ford Field by a score of 3-0. If you remember the first game of the season, it's funny, we get the Bears first and then we get them practically last as Jones gets up the middle for no gain with that tackle by Holmes. And it looks like we're just going to hopefully get that second win against the Bears. Grossman gets a nice pass to Justin Gage. It's a 19-yard gain, finally finding one of his receivers. He finds a second receiver in a row. This one, Shannon Sharp, getting a 3-yard gain over on the right side. And we're going to see if we can get a turkey for Rex. He does complete that third pass in a row. That one going to Gage for another 14 yards. We're now in Detroit territory. And then we get another sack. Look at the Lions getting sacks. Boss Bailey breaking through that time for the loss of 6. Grossman gets 5 of those yards back on the scramble. And then on the 3rd and 11, this time the Bears are looking to keep their drive alive, and he does by finding Gage there for a gain of 14 yards. We're in Detroit 25, and then Jones runs to the right side for 2 yards. Lehman gets in there, gets on the stat sheet with the tackle. 2nd and 8, Grossman almost throws it to one of multiple Lions defenders. That ball gets bobbled back like 10 yards before it falls to the turf. 3rd and 8, Grossman to Gage like clockwork. It's another 3rd down, converted into the first. We have a 1st and goal from Detroit's 9. Boss Bailey barely misses the sack, and luckily that pass is dropped by David Terrell because they had a touchdown dead to rights right there based on that missed tackle. That 2nd down pass is deflected away by Teddy Lehman. 3rd and goal, looking for the end zone. Grossman throws it over the middle, again finding turf. He has not been accurate so far today, but the 26-yard field goal by Paul Ettinger is good. It's now a tie ball game halfway through the second quarter. Low-scoring game so far. We've got one 3-3. Jones is going to take this one to the right, tries to get out of the way of Lance Briggs, and that's not something you're going to do very often. 2nd and 10, Harrington dropping back, throwing behind Jones there. That one's going to fall incomplete, looking like Rex Grossman on that one. From the shotgun, Harrington drops back, hauls this one left side for Williams, who again has it in his hands and drops it. The Bears get the ball back almost as quickly as they give it away. 1st and 10 from their own 31. Grossman gets his pass deflected by Fernando Bryant. 2nd and 10, Grossman's going to get sacked by Boss Bailey on the rollout. Luckily, Chicago Jones is there to pick up that fumble, and they retain possession. 3rd and 14. Grossman throwing to the left side. He has a man. Good defense by Terrence Holt to hit his man as he catches the ball. Trey Bly was also in there on the coverage. That's going to give the Lions the ball right back on the 3 and out. 1st and 10 for Detroit's 32. Harrington's going to kick this one to Schlesinger on the left side, only 2 yards. Odom was in there on the stop. Schlesinger gets the run again, and he is going to break loose through the line of defenders. He only has one to beat, and Brown is able to chase him down after a 46-yard gain from Corey Schlesinger, going hard up the middle there. You can see one juke, one block from Kevin Jones on Brian Urlacher, and my man is gone. He didn't have the speed to get himself all the way into the end zone, but we've got a 46-yard gain all the way up at the Chicago 20, and it's only going to take Harrington one pass to get into the end zone. Roy is wide open that time. You can't drop it when you're wide open. We'd have bigger problems than that. And the rookie gets back into the end zone, gets a catch in his stat column, one that he sorely needed. You can see he was wide open. No one was even close to him there. They try and recover for the tackle, but that's going to be a touchdown for the Lions. The score is now 10-3. The Bears taking back over from their own 26. Jones gets over to the left side for 1 yard. Jones going to get the run again over to the right side, this time breaking loose a little bit. Brian Walker chases them down, but that's a 14-yard gain and a 1st down for the Bears. Jones getting a 3rd run in a row, getting 2 yards up the middle. Hall in there on the tackle from the defensive line. 2nd and 8, Grossman rolling forward, throwing it to the left side, and this one is going to be intercepted by Dre Bly. It's like the game knew something that we didn't when they previewed him in the beginning, and Dre Bly gets a rare interception. He hasn't gotten many of them this year, certainly not a league leader by any stretch of the imagination, but the Lions are going to take over with just about a minute left and an opportunity to get another score on the board before we head into halftime. Harrington on 2nd down, completing this one to Charles Rogers, who almost had a bunch of room in front of him to run, but he gets tackled, and the Detroit Lions take their first timeout of the half. 1st and 10 from Chicago's 18. Harrington's going to complete this one to Roy Williams over the middle, who gets 14 yards, and he seems to have his mojo back a little bit as the Lions take their 2nd timeout. 1st and goal now from Chicago's 4. Harrington's pass to the right side to a wide open Rogers is dropped, and we're going to head to a 2nd down and goal. The direct snap to Kevin Jones. He's not going to get that one. Lance Briggs is in there for the tackle. Detroit takes their final timeout of the half. And speaking of that stout Chicago defense, Odom breaks through untouched for the sack and a loss of 5. Hansen takes the 24-yard field goal as the clock winds down, and Chicago will head into halftime down 10 to the Detroit Lions. The score as we head into the locker rooms is 13-3 here at Ford Field. Checking out the stats from the first half, we are outgaining and outworking the Chicago Bears in pretty much every aspect of the game so far. We're outpassing them, we're outrushing them, we're outgaining them in total, we have more possession, and how often do you see this? We have more sacks, which is awesome to see. So as we head back into the third quarter, the Bears take over from their own 26. Grossman's going to complete that one on the right flat to Jones. Lehman and Bryant are in there quickly. It's only a gain of 3 yards. 2nd and 7. Grossman completes that one to Gage for 6 yards. Bly's in there quickly to give him a good hit. That's a 3rd and 1. Jones gets the counter to the right side, and Walker is in there off of that right Bear formation. And that's going to be a loss of 1 yard, a quick fourth down, and a 3 and out for the Bears. Schlesinger runs to the left side. Someone forgets to block Odom, and it's going to be a loss of 1. Jones taking the toss to the right side, spins out of the tackle, almost has some daylight in front of him, gets stuck on his own blocker. That's going to be a gain of 3 yards with the tackle from R.W. McQuarters, and Harrington takes a shot from Brian Robinson there, loss of 4, and the Bears take possession right back on the 3 and out from the Lions. Grossman gets a complete pass to Bernard Berrien for 11 yards. First time we've called his name today. Grossman's going to be complete to Gage over there. Second pass, second first down in a row. Third pass for Grossman here. It's going to be complete to Berrien again. A 16-yard gain. Lots of first downs coming for the Bears in this drive. 1st and 10 from Detroit's 29. Grossman's going to find Shannon Sharp. A 13-yard gain and a first down. 1st and 10 on the 16. Jones gets up the middle for a loss of 3 because Holmes breaks right through and gets the tackle for the loss. But 2nd and 13, Grossman's going to find Bernard Berrien. Third pass completion to him in the drive. First 15-yard gain. And on the 1st and 10, he's got Terrell all alone in the end zone. Someone forgets to cover him over there. It was Trey Bly. Trey Bly forgot to cover him over there. And the Bears strike back. We've got a score of 13-10 here at Ford Field. The Lions taking over from their own 18. Harrington's pass is incomplete to Charles Rogers on the call, but the Detroit Lions don't like the call. They're going to challenge this one. They think that he was in bounds. It would be a big play if they were right. Rogers making his case over there on the sidelines, and we will check this one out with the referees. If we take a closer look to this one, you can see very clearly on the replay, right foot down, left foot down, and the referees agree with us. The ruling on the field is overturned. The completion would be ruled in favor of the Lions, and that is a huge 22-yard gain. I'm sorry, 22-yard gain up to the Detroit 40. Forgive me, I went to art school. I'm not very good at math on the fly. Jones is going to get a loss of 1 up the middle. Odom in there on the tackle for the loss. 2nd and 11, Harrington's pass is incomplete over the middle. 3rd and 11 from the shotgun. Harrington throwing it back to his most reasonable receiver, Williams over there. He catches it, but it's only a 7-yard gain, and the challenge is essentially wasted because the Bears take the ball right back. Jones gets no gain on that first run. Good tackle by Wilkinson. That second pass from Grossman complete to David Terrell, 17 yards over the middle. Move the chains to the Chicago 44. Harrington completes another one to Gage for 7 yards, 2nd and 3. Grossman rolling over to his left, feels the pressure, throws it to his left side, and Boss Bailey is the one to come up with the interception this time. Our 2nd interception on the day on Grossman, and we'll take another look at that one as Boss Bailey rolls back, finds, honestly, it looked like Boss Bailey was the receiver more so than the tight end. Jones is going to get swallowed up. Big loss of 5 yards on the tackle from Urlacher, and that's going to take us into the 4th quarter. The Lions have a 2nd and long, and they are up 13-10. From that 2nd and 15, Harrington from the shotgun throwing over to the left side, just misses Charles Rogers over there on the left side. 3rd and 15, Harrington from shotgun again, rolling slightly left, has Roy this time in his hands, out of his hands. I guess the mojo goes away just as quickly as it appears. Thomas Jones running to the right side, getting a good gain there. They're only going to call it a 6-yard gain. Tackle credited to Holmes. 2nd and 4, Jones tosses to the left side for 4 yards, going to get the first down. And we have an injury on the field. It's the Bears tight end, Robert Johnson. We hope it's not too serious. It looks like he's holding his arm there. We will see if he returns to the game or not. 1st and 10 from the Bears 32. That's a deep pass to the turf. Grossman throws that one away. 2nd and 10, Jones is going to get another run up the middle, bounces off of a couple linemen. That's Big Sean Rogers in there for the tackle. It's a gain of 6 yards up the middle. 3rd and 4, Grossman throwing it to Bernard Berrien, who has woken up here in the second half. That's a 9-yard gain and a first down to the Chicago 47. Next play, next completion, next first down. And Grossman to Gage, that's an 11-yard gain. We're now in Detroit territory. Jones takes the run to the right side for 3 yards. Bryant and Walker are in there for the quick stop. Jones up the middle again, gonna bounce off of one of his own linemen. That allows Big Dan Wilkinson to get that tackle for only 2 yards. Grossman throwing to the right side, and again, he is loving throwing to these Detroit Lions defenders. Fernando Bryant gets the 3rd interception for the Detroit defense today. You can see that was a quick hook route. We were in man coverage, and Fernando Bryant was in a better position than the receiver based on how Grossman threw that thing, and that's going to be Lions possession now. Jones only manages 1 yard on that toss to the right side. Again, he just gets bumped back on that 1 yard loss on the right side. Nothing going for the Detroit Lions run game so far. Schlesinger gets the completion. Fred Smoot hits him with the tackle. It's only an 8-yard gain. Another 3 and out from the Detroit Lions, and the Bears take back over, having a chance to get the lead here in this game. Jones runs right for 1 yard. He gets the toss on 2nd down, going to get 6 yards out of that one. Luckily, Holt ran him out of bounds, or else he was looking at a lot of daylight. And on the 3rd and 3, Jones counters to the right side, and Earl Holmes is through the line to tackle him for a loss of a yard. And the Lions defense is standing strong, and they take back over at their own 38. Schlesinger going to get this one up the middle for 3 yards. Brown from the safety position getting the tackle. Schlesinger is going to run it again to the left side. Urlacher breaking through, causing a loss of 1 yard. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 6. Jones runs to the right side, gets a big stiff arm on Brian Urlacher. How often do you see that? Big stiff arms on Brian Urlacher. And Chicago is taking a timeout with this being inside of the 2-minute warning. Jones is going to spin off of a defender again, only going to get 2 yards that time, but Chicago is going to take their final timeout of the game right there. 2nd and 8, Jones running up the middle for 1 yard. Urlacher on the stop. We're just kind of trying to ram this thing forward as much as we can. We're trying to waste that time. We're trying to waste those timeouts. But the Bears do get the stop here. 4th and 3, we're going to punt that one away. Grossman has a chance to get the Lions away from the lead, but instead he just gave the Lions the ball right back. Teddy Lyman not only intercepts this one, but he's taking it to the house, baby. He wants the win, and he wants it badly. As time winds down, Teddy Lyman gets the interception. A beautiful bobble up, catch it, turn and run. He's got his other Lions at his back. You see a big block on Grossman to get him into the end zone. He dives forward, and that's how this first game is going to conclude. The final score in the home finale for the Detroit Lions. They give their home crowd a win to go home with against their rivals, the Chicago Bears. And the final score of this one is going to be 20-10, thanks to that last-second defensive touchdown to keep the game in the Lions' favor. That's going to do it from that first game. We're going to take a look at the final stats. You can see that the Bears did find their passing game, but they never really got their run game together. But that's really nice to see, considering some of the huge run games that we gave to some of these running backs throughout the season. Our final stats from the game: Joey Harrington, 12 for 23, 159 yards. He didn't have an amazing passing game. 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Certainly better than the 4 interceptions that Grossman threw. Corey Schlesinger really just had that one big 46-yard gain. That's most of his 64 yards. None of our running backs got into the end zone today. Charles Rogers was the big man on the field today. 6 receptions for 94 yards total, although it was Roy Williams who did catch the 1 touchdown pass of the day. And you can see out the Brian Walker from the safety position. I thought we were going to be trying to replace that strong safety position, but Brian has been solid for us. Also, Teddy Lyman having a good game with 9 total tackles. And we did have our 4 sacks total, 4 for Boss, 4 for Porcher, although we are going to be trying to upgrade in that defensive end spot for sure, especially in the first round of the draft. And you can see our secondary had a great job picking the ball off today of those 4 total interceptions for us. So we're 6-9. Nice. We're heading into our final game of the season against the Tennessee Titans. You can see we're still at the bottom of the standings here, 6-9 total. The Bears are still 7-8. The Packers looking for one of those final playoff spots, so we can see if they get it. And the Seahawks have locked in home field advantage in the NFC in this first season, as have the Pats, 12-3, looking solid. Technically, the Titans haven't locked off a playoff spot yet, so they are playing for their playoff lives. I guess we can see if we can play spoiler. They have a great offense It looks like they have an injury, which is why their defense is so low. I think their starting middle linebacker is hurt for the rest of the year. So we'll see if we can do any damage to the Titans. And before we get into this final game of our first season of our Lions rebuild, I'd love it if you could subscribe to the channel if you want to follow along into season 2. And also if you're here and you're subscribed, liking and commenting on the video always helps in that algorithm. I'm really thankful that you're here. Let's play one more game in this first season of our Lions rebuild against the Titans. We are in rainy, soggy, swampy Tennessee in Nashville. Beautiful Nashville, honestly. I've been in Nashville. I've seen the stadium from the other side of the river. It's a gorgeous stadium. It looks really, really nice against the downtown Nashville, which is also super fun as we see Steve McNair, an elite quarterback who honestly just doesn't get enough flowers these days. We love Steve McNair. But the Lions are going to take over first. Jones immediately runs backwards for a loss of 1. Bullock coming through and getting a tackle. Harrington throwing that pass incomplete over the middle. 3rd and 11. Harrington rolling out to that left side. He has Roy Williams on the left, who immediately drops the pass. We're gonna blame that one on the rain and not maybe the fact that Roy has found a little case of the yips here in these last few games of the season. Great field position for the Titans as they take over from their own 48. Eddie George, another elite player that doesn't get enough love these days, gets a run to the right side for 6 yards, but then loses one thanks to the tackle from Holmes. 3 plays, 3 yards for Eddie, draws this one up the middle for 10 yards. That's going to be a first down up to the Detroit 37. McNair's first pass is incomplete on that deflection over on the left side. I think that was Dre Bly on the deflection. 2nd and 10, Eddie George is going to get the draw, bounces off of a couple defenders. He's got some room in front of him. He's got one man to beat. He leaps over Terrence Holt, but he leaps out of bounds. That's going to be a 20-yard gain for Eddie George. McNair throws this one over to the left side. It's going to be complete to Tyrone Calico, who has 9 yards. Holt stops him before that first down line. Chris Brown, the running back, the backup, is going to run it up the middle, but he gets the ball shaken loose, and Teddy Lehman jumps on that one. A fumble forced by the Detroit defense towards the goal line, and they're going to get that recovery. We're going to see this one more time. Chris Brown in for the Eddie George, not injured. Dre Bly in there on the tackle, forcing the ball out, and Teddy Lehman jumps on it to give possession back to the Lions. The Lions are back on their own 8. Harrington trying to get out of the end zone in one pass. That one's going to be dropped by Williams as he had his hands on it and just lost it on the tackle. Schlesinger gets up the middle for no gain. Sermon is in there on the tackle. Harrington's dropping back very close to the end zone, gets it away before he can get tackled. That one's going to be forced out on the completion to Jones, but it's a 4th down and a punt away. Again, beautiful field position for the Titans, and they only need one play to go 42 yards to Drew Bennett, who shapes away from Fernando Bryant. He's going to have the first score of the day. Drew Bennett has that 42-yard gain. It must be just a very, very wet one out there today as Fernando Bryant can't hold on to Drew Bennett, and he breaks away for the 42-yard score. The Lions take right back over. Jones runs to the right side for 3 yards. Bullock in there on the tackle. 2nd and 7. Harrington dropping back, going to throw this one over the middle. Complete this time to Charles Rogers. That's a gain of 14 and a first down up to the Detroit 37. Jones going to get a nice little juke move, gets 7 yards up that run up the middle. Schulters is in there on the stop. 2nd and 3. Jones is going to toss it to the left side. Damian Woody just misses the opportunity to block Schulters, and he saves the first down. Schlesinger gets up the middle for 4 yards, though, converging that first down up to the Detroit 49. Harrington's first pass, feeling some pressure in and out of the hands of Azahir Hakeem. That's going to bring up 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10, Jones draws up the middle, is lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Bullock is through the line. This Titans defense is not looking like a 65 overall defense. On the pass to Jones on the right side, Samari Roll is there to stop the first down. It's only a 6-yard gain. The Titans take back over from their own 4-yard line thanks to a good punt for once by the Detroit special teams. George gets 2 yards on the first run. He draws to the middle on 2nd and 8 to get 3 yards there. The linebackers are doing some good defense here. 3rd and 5. McNair going to throw this one. It's going to be complete to Bryant, who has some room in front of him, and he's turning and burning. That is a 47-yard gain thanks to Bryant getting that tackle. I'm sorry, I said his name was Bryant. It was Drew Bennett, that man over on the right side who continues to absolutely burn us. Another pass completion, another 40-plus yard pass completion from Air McNair to Drew Bennett. That's a 47-yard gain. Bryant saving the touchdown there. 1st and 10 from Detroit's 44. McNair throwing to that left flat to Eddie George. Dre Bly drags him out of bounds. That's only a 3-yard gain and we get out of the first quarter. The Titans are up 7-0, but they are showing flashes of offensive brilliance, and that defense is looking very solid against us so far. George gets up the middle. The first tackle slows him down, although he breaks 3. That's going to be a 3-yard gain up the middle. McNair completes to, you guessed it, Drew Bennett, 12 yards up the middle. Fernando Bryant gets the tackle, but he's been a step behind Drew all day. McNair completes that one to Derek Mason, 15 yards, giving us a 1st and 10 from Detroit's 11. George gets up the middle 3 yards. Boss Bailey saves the tackle. 2nd and 10. McNair going to drop back, throwing that left one, completing it to the tight end, Aaron Kinney, who gets knocked out of bounds by Dre Bly, just barely saving the touchdown. But the very next play, Eddie George gets into the end zone after shaking off Earl Holmes. That's going to be a lead of 14-0 as Eddie George strikes that pose and gets a touchdown into his stat column. We'll see that one more time. Earl Holmes had a chance to drag him down. I think middle linebacker, as fun as Earl Holmes has been and as good of a vet as he's been, I think we are going to be looking for a skilled middle linebacker to take over in that starting position next season with one of our higher draft picks. Harrington misses that first pass. The second one is also incomplete, but we're going to get a penalty on the field. It's going to be a defensive pass interference call on the Tennessee defense. That's going to bring us up to Detroit's 28 for a first down. Harrington dropping back, throwing over to that right side. Just misses. I don't know if he just misses, but Azahir Hakeem did not catch that one. Harrington's going to throw over to Charles Rogers on the hook route. That one's going to give us 5 yards, so we have a 3rd and 5, hoping to get a first down over on this one. Harrington throwing to the right flat to Jones, and Samari Roll is there to stop Jones again. He's been on that flat pass. That's that second 3rd down tackle to force that 4th down punt from the Lions. The Titans take back over. McNair misses that first pass on the flat to George. It looks like they were trying to set up for a screen. 2nd down, McNair bails out, scrambles to the left side. It's going to be a gain of 8 yards before Brian Walker gets him on the tackle. 3rd and 2 up the middle for George, and Teddy Lehman is there to get the tackle, get the stop, and we get a 3-and-out forced from the Lions defense. The Lions take over, trying to get some sort of offensive momentum and a score on the board. Jones does not start as well. Lance Schulters gets the tackle, but he's also shaken up on the play. It looks like an arm injury of some kind. We'll see if he returns to the game at any point today. Harrington's going to complete that one to Jones on the flat, who actually makes somebody miss for once. He's going to get a 9-yard gain on that tackle for Thompson. Jones gets the run up the middle, hits the juke, finds a hole, gets a little bit of space, so he's going to get a 15-yard gain. He could have had a little bit more if he had some speed underneath his feet. Hopefully he hits those shuttle runs in the offseason. Harrington's going to complete this one to Jones on the flat again. The play's finally getting some life to it. Thompson gets the tackle for a gain of 9. Schlesinger really makes somebody miss with his shoulder, gets up the middle for 4 yards. That's a first down. Next play, another throw to Hakeem. This one he's going to hold on to. It's an 18-yard gain, 2nd first down in a row for the Lions. We're going to hit Roy Williams on the wide receiver out route. No gain on that one. Bullock was right on that. 2nd and 10. Harrington rolling out to his left, throwing over the middle for Roy Williams, who's going to have it. Gets a few extra yards. It's a 17-yard gain and a timeout from the Lions as we are inside of the 2-minute warning. Harrington, quick drop back, quick pass, just threads the needle right there. Absolute beautiful pass between two Titans defenders, and finds his rookie Roy Williams for the score. We're going to take another look at this one in this torrential downpour. Harrington slings that one to the left side, finds his window in between the two defenders, and the Lions are on the board with a little bit of time left in this half for the Titans to drive down the field. McNair completes that one to Bennett for 12 yards. He's been an absolute menace to us so far. Although not to be outdone, Derek Mason catches that one in stride and has a 40-yard gain, and the Titans take a timeout, now suddenly thinking that they're going to get some points on the board before the half concludes. First down from Detroit's 39. McNair's pass is deflected away by Fernando Bryant. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. McNair dropping back only one step, throws it to the right side. That's good to Derek Mason. Has a step on his defender, gets 7 yards before Bryant and Lehman can tackle him out of bounds. 3rd and 3 to get the first down. McNair throws to the turf. I think his man had a little bit of a miscommunication. John Nedney steps up and hits the 39-yard field goal to extend the Titans' lead back to 10 as we head into the locker room. So as we go to the end of the second quarter, we have a score of 7-17. The Lions are down 10, but they are putting up a fight, and it's good to see them put some points up on the board, as we know that offense has been a struggle for us sometimes. So here in Nashville, we've got a score of 17-7. You can see the tail of the stat tape. The Titans are getting anything that they want through the air right now. 179 yards passing for McNair here in this first half, and 63 yards on the ground for Eddie George. We have forced a turnover as well. Let's see if our offense can start playing as well as our defense, because they are the ones keeping us in this game for sure. The Titans getting an opportunity to get on the board as they get the ball first in the second half. George runs to the left side for a nice gain of 9. Boss Bailey's in there on the stop. 2nd and 1. George gets up the middle, stopped quickly by Holmes and Wilkinson, but it's enough for a first down. McNair keeping the pass party going, finds Bennett, his favorite target so far, for 14 yards over the middle. First down into Detroit territory they go. That one complete for 12 yards to Derek Mason. We're now up at the Detroit 36. George goes up the middle for no gain. Dan Wilkinson makes sure he gets a quick tackle on that one. 2nd and 10. Eddie George gets that toss to the right side, and if you know anything about tosses, it's that it's this defense's Achilles heel, and that continues to hold true. George gets a 36-yard gain. The cheerleaders are backflipping in the torrential downpour, and the Titans are starting to turn this one into a blowout. Eddie George getting that big touchdown that we've all been waiting for. He has basically all the space in the world. He does get that one nice block from his receiver there, but nobody comes close to sniffing him as he runs that one into the end zone. The Lions have their work cut up for them after giving up the quick score. You know that the defense might have broken at some point, and plays like this don't help. We have Roy Williams with a step on his defender, and he drops the ball on contact. It's really not helping us out. Jones with a little bit of room to run gets a 9-yard gain on that counter. Sermon saving it from being anything more, and Schlesinger does what he needs to do and more, getting us the first down with that 5-yard run up the middle. Harrington wants another first down on first down, completes that one to Charles Rogers over the top of a couple of Titans defenders. That's going to be a 19-yard gain. 1st and 10 from the Tennessee 47. Harrington rolls out to his left, gets sacked by Carlos Hall for a loss of 4 yards. 2nd and 14. Harrington looking to pass again. That one going to be deflected by a Titans defender. Incomplete. This Titans defense again is not looking like a 65 overall, and we plead our case. Harrington throws that one up for a streaking Rogers. This one intercepted by Lamont Thompson in for the injured safety that he replaced. And we're going to see that one more time. Lamont Thompson stepping back into coverage. We had Charles Rogers streaking down to the left side. Harrington underthrows it, and that one's going to be intercepted and handed right back to the Titans with another chance to extend the lead, and runs like this certainly help their cause. George getting out to the right side. Big run over into Detroit territory. We're now up at the Detroit 35. McNair completes that one to Calico for 9 yards. It's now a 2nd and inches situation, and George gets the inches and more. It's a 4-yard gain over on the right side. Terrence Holt getting the tackle after a big drag down. 1st and 10 from the 22. George gets up the middle 3 yards. Teddy Lehman there for the stop. Another run for George up the middle. Another tackle for Teddy Lehman. This one is going to only be a 2-yard gain, bringing up a 3rd and 5. George tosses to the left. Thankfully, DeJuan Edwards, our little backup that we picked up from free agency. He is a rookie. Hopefully, he'll be showing some growth in the next season. That saves the 3rd down. That's going to be a 35-yard field goal from Needney. And we're now down 20 points. The Titans are leading 7-27. Harrington trying to get his offense back into this, completes that one to Steven Alexander for a big 23-yard gain. That's going to bring up 1st and 10 from the Lions 43. Harrington looking deep to Williams again. That one again dangerously close to a Titans defender. I feel like Harrington's accuracy has not been all there today. Our running game has also not been all there today. We get up the middle for only 1 yard. 3rd and 9. Harrington's finally going to complete. This is the one that I honestly thought he wasn't going to catch out of all the ones that I threw to him, but Williams manages to hold on to that one as a 21-yard gain, move the chains up into Tennessee territory. 1st and 10, we complete another one to Alexander on that cross route. We head into the 4th quarter trying to get a little bit closer, a little bit more into this game. We are down 20 points by a score of 7-27. First down from Tennessee's 19 from the shotgun. Harrington slings it over the middle for Roy, who again drops the pass straight off of his hands like a couple of bricks. Harrington's going to throw this one over to the left side, trying Azahir Hakeem, who has the inside position on his defender. Pass is caught, and we get a touchdown for our 3rd option receiver, Azahir Hakeem, who shows his wiry frame, and we're going to see that replay one more time. Harrington throwing that one on the post route to the left. You see that Azahir had position inside on his defender, and he brings that one in for the touchdown, and we're back within striking distance, only down 13. A quick 3 and out would do wonders for us. That first pass to Kinney, good for only 3 yards, and then McNair gets sacked by Boss Bailey after the tackle for a loss of 3. We're going right back. This one's going to be complete to Jason Adley, and he fumbles the ball on the hit. The fumble is recovered by Fernando Bryant, and Fernando Bryant this feels like a replacement situation where he scores the touchdown, but he basically ruins his knee for the rest of the year. Fernando Bryant is injured. He's going to be out for the rest of the game, and the Detroit defense will be without their second option cornerback. What did the offense do to repay their defense? They take a sack for a loss of 5, which isn't great. Harrington gets that pass to Rodgers for 7 yards. The tackle there by Samari Roll. And 3rd and 8 from the shotgun. Harrington letting this one go to the end zone. We have Roy. We didn't really have Roy. He kind of was in double coverage there. That one knocked away. And that's going to lead to a field goal from Hansen to get us within 10 points. That one, again, just squeaks through the upright crossbars, and that's a 43-yard field goal good by Hansen. The score is now 17-27. The Lions continue to try and fight their way back into this one. Again, a 3-and-out would do wonders for us. 1st and 10 is incomplete to George. George gets the run this time up the middle for 4 yards. Cash and Holmes are in there for the stop. 3rd and 6, McNair passing over the middle, and that one's going to be deflected by Cash, who is now in for the injured Fernando Bryant. Chris Cash immediately making a difference. That's a 3-and-out, and the Lions have a chance to get back into this one a little bit closer. On the 1st down, Harrington throws maybe a little bit errantly to Rodgers, who is in double coverage there. That one's going to be dropped incomplete. Harrington on the play action pass this time, firing over the middle to Roy, who we're just going to call that a funny animation and just chalk it up to that. 3rd down, play action, rolling out under pressure, trying to fire to an open man over the middle, but he saw him too late. Hall gets the sack, his 2nd one of the day, and the Titans take back over with the chance to really put this one away with only 4 minutes left. 2nd and 6, George gets up the right side, he gets out of the tackle from Holt. Bly gets him down. That's a 9-yard gain and a 1st down at midfield. George runs it again and tried to run some clock at this time, only a 3-yard gain. George just run again up the middle for no gain, but Lehman grabs him by the face mask, that's a rookie move right there. You hate to see it. It's going to be called an incidental face mask, so only a 5-yard gain, but it's still going to be a 1st down for the Titans. 1st and 10 from the 40 in Detroit territory. George gets 5 yards on the run up the middle. Dre Bly gets another tackle in the stat column. George gets up the middle. This time Big Dan Wilkinson is there for the loss of 1. 3rd and 6, they're just trying to run that clock. He only gets up the middle for 1 yard. Eddie George, Holmes, and Hall in there on the stop. The Lions take back over from their own 5. Harrington getting the pass out right away. This one's going to be caught by Steven Alexander, a huge gain of 34 yards to get them out of the end zone. 1st and 10 for the Detroit 39. Harrington gets his pass deflected there, bringing up a 2nd and 10 from the shotgun. This is a 2-minute drill if we have ever seen one. Harrington throwing deep to the left side. This one caught by Rodgers, who has it. A few more, a 27-yard gain. We're now in Tennessee territory. 34 at the 34 exactly. Harrington scrambles out to their right side, trying to get himself out of bounds. Does manage to get out of bounds. That's a scramble for 8 yards. 2nd and 2. Harrington completes this one over to Rodgers, trying to get him on an outright, but he had a defender there in man. He's going to get tackled. They're not going to take the timeout yet to get the 1st down and to keep the drive alive. Harrington finds Hakeem, who has been big for us today. Detroit takes that timeout to stop the clock. 1st and 10 from Tennessee's 23. Harrington throwing it up for Azahir again on the inside post route, who once again had position on his receiver and manages to hold on to the ball. And the Lions score, getting the touchdown, getting the score within 3 points with just 30 seconds left on the clock as we see that touchdown pass. They need to recover this onside kick to have any sort of a chance, and the ball just bounces straight into the hands. That was just like the cleanest catch on an onside kick I've ever seen in my entire life. Only 20 seconds left on the clock, and because the Lions only had a couple of timeouts left, the Titans were able to kneel this one out, meaning that the Titans escaped with the victory. But, you know, the Lions put up a fight. In other games, we've gotten blown out and we weren't able to get any sort of offense together, but this one we put together for some scores. We have some pieces to build around, and we're going to see exactly where we think we're going to land in the draft and the offseason coming up in Season 2. So, from Nashville, Tennessee, we did drop our final game of the season. We did help the Tennessee Titans confirm their place in the playoffs, clinching that spot with the win, and we are going to walk out with our heads held high at 6-10 in this first season of the rebuild. You can see there we did end up winning the passing battle. Our running game didn't really do anything, which I was not expecting considering how lowly rated their defense was, but we'll see the stats. 22 for 37. We really started passing there in the second half, especially when we figured out that we weren't going to be running very successfully. Harrington had the 3 touchdowns and the 1 interception. See, as we said, Eddie George, big day, 155 yards. Kevin Jones didn't really do much, 31 yards. Schlesinger never really got much daylight, and then Eddie George got into that end zone twice. Drew Bennett just had a day with us. 2 of those passes made up for 80 of those yards. You can see he had that touchdown as well. Azahir Hakeem was a bright spot for us, getting 2 whole touchdowns into his stat category. Lehman led the way for our defense today, 9 total tackles, 3 of them assisted. Boss Bailey was also up there with 6 total tackles and a sack in his stat column. Good to see him getting a couple of sacks in a couple of games. And we're going to see our defensive stats from the secondary. You can see that Tennessee was really on the pass deflections today. Fernando Bryant managed to get 1 before he was injured for the rest of the game, and the 1 interception goes to Lamont Thompson stepping in for the injured safety. So that's going to do it for our season, y'all. We are 6-10 at the basement of the NFC North, and that's okay. It's a rebuild year. We weren't expecting to really get very high in the standings, because you can see the Titans officially clinching the playoffs, and you can see where all of the teams got into the playoffs versus not. We will be simulating all of the playoffs and all of that stuff in the next episode, technically our Season 2 premiere. So that's going to do it for Season 1 of our Lions rebuild, everybody. There is one more important thing that we want to look at, and that's the power rankings. This is going to give us an idea of where we are in the draft order, probably. It's looking like we're picking 6th right now. So we definitely have a top 10 pick. Maybe we have a top 5 pick. We'll talk more about our draft strategy when we get to that episode in Season 2. But I just want to sincerely thank you for coming out. And if you've made it this far and you're not subscribed, it would be an honor to have you subscribe to the channel. We're trying to make it to 250 subscribers as soon as we can. And who knows, maybe you could be a part of that. And if you could like and comment on the video, that's always appreciated as well. So thanks for being here through this first season of the Lions rebuild. I'm super excited for Season 2. The next episode, the premiere of Season 2, we're going to simulate the rest of Season 1. We're going to do all of the off-season stuff, and we're going to do the preseason simulation for Season 2. So we'll look forward to seeing you either on that live stream or on that highlight video. And for Peanuts 24/7, we'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.